Hi you two, and welcome to today's topic lesson. So today's topic lesson is an RE lesson, and we're going to be focusing on the religion, Judaism, and in particular we're going to be focusing on the Passover meal. So let's begin by having a look at what is on the screen now. So what is it, and when would we have this? That's right, it's a birthday cake, and we would have it on our birthday to celebrate getting a year older. And we'd often celebrate that by putting the amount of candles on for our age. So that's what's special to us. Have a look at this next picture. What is this? Now, this isn't special to everybody, but it's special to some people if they are a Christian, for example. That's right, it's a Christmas dinner. It's one of our favourite meals of the year, and we celebrate it because it's the day that Jesus was born, and that's how we celebrate Christmas. So we have turkey and sprouts and roast potatoes. We have lots of yummy food. And that's similar for Jewish people whose religion is called Judaism. And the Passover meal is one of the most important festivals in the Jewish year. So just like Christmas is one of the most important celebrations for us, the Passover meal is very special to a Jewish person. So as we said, it's celebrated by Jewish people and it's called the Passover. So the Passover is celebrated by Jewish people who remember how the Israelite people were freed from slavery by Moses over 3,000 years ago. The story of Passover is in the Jewish Holy Book, and you can see the Jewish Holy Book here. And I'm just going to read you a story, and it's the story of Moses. So the Israelites were God's chosen people. They were enslaved by the Egyptian Pharaoh and were forced to work hard and make buildings. Moses was chosen by God to lead them into freedom. It was a long and difficult struggle. Eventually, Moses led the Israelites away from Egypt until they had to stop when they reached the Red Sea. Then a miracle happened. Moses asked God for help, and the Red Sea parted. The Israelites were saved. They were able to walk through the sea to freedom. Moses and the Israelites spent many years travelling through the desert with no food and water. God watched over them and provided for them. After 3 months, God gave Moses 10 laws for people to live by. These became the 10 Commandments. So how is Passover celebrated? Passover is celebrated over 7 or 8 days. So that's a little bit different for us because Christmas is traditionally just one day. Some of us choose to celebrate over a couple of days, seeing different members of family, but traditionally it's just one day. But the Passover is 7 or 8 days, so that's one whole week or a day over just one whole week. So on the evening before, so the night before the Passover begins, there is a special service called the Seder. At the Seder meal, there is a special Seder plate, and they have particular foods on their Seder plate. And the word Seder means order. So it's an important part of the Seder meal. The plate has 5 different sections on it, and it has 5 specific different foods. So let's have a look. So here, look, we can see we've got a hard-boiled egg, and that represents new life to them. Then the next part of the plate, so in the second section of the plate, there are fresh green vegetables, and this symbolises the freshness of spring. They always have some salt water with their meal, which symbolises the tears and sweat that they went through. They then have a mixture of apples, nuts, ginger, so lots of herbs and spices, and a little bit of wine mixed in there. And that's supposed to symbolise when the Israelites were forced to make bricks. They then have a piece of meat, so it's usually roasted lamb or chicken. And it's supposed to symbolise the offerings made to God. And then the last part of the Seder plate is 2 types of bitter herbs, so, you know, herbs that make you pull a bit of a face. And it's supposed to symbolise and remind people of the bitterness of slavery. So at the Seder meal, there are 3 breads placed on the table, and they're placed on top of each other. The middle is broken and the biggest piece is hidden, and the children can hunt for it to win a prize. So a bit like our Easter egg hunts that Christians celebrate. We hide eggs, don't we, usually in the garden or around our house, and the children, so yourselves, would be able to go and hunt for them. So the Jewish people during Passover would hide little bits of bread, and the children would hunt for them and they would win a prize. They also, well, the adults would drink 4 small glasses of wine. And there's a couple of different views on what the wine actually symbolises. So some people think the wine symbolises the freedom, and they believe that the 4 cups can represent the promises that God made to save and protect these people. Everyone had a cushion to lean on, and this was to remind them that the Israelites were freed from slavery to live a more comfortable life like they deserved. So here you can see a glossary of some of the different words that we may have covered in this really quick RE lesson. So if you have another look through the PowerPoint, you might be able to see some of these words and get a definition of what some of these words are. So what you will see on the Google Classroom now is I have put a traditional Jewish plate on there that they would have had at the Passover meal. There's a couple of different ones on there. Some of them you can just colour in and get more of an understanding of what was on that plate. And some of you can go back through the PowerPoint and have a look at the types of food that they would have had, and you can design your own plate. So if you haven't got a printer at home, that's okay. Draw around one of your plates at home onto a piece of paper, split it into 5 different sections, and then you can design your own Passover plate. But remember, it's got to be those things that symbolise things. So the meat and the salt water and the fresh green vegetables. So you've got to have a think what might be on there. So you can have a go at creating your own Seder plate. So that's a really quick lesson on what the Passover meal is. If you'd like to do some more of your own research, please feel free to do that. And you can give me some more information as well. So I hope you've really enjoyed this really short RE lesson today, and pop onto the Google Classroom now and have a go at your independent activity for me. So can't wait to see the pictures. Don't forget to send them on Class Dojo.